Maybe then talking about sort of the community of folks that are building PyLabRobot. So I was looking at sort of the GitHub, and I see this, the repository has 1,450 commits as of, I guess, a few days ago, 238 stars, 86 forks, 32 different contributors in the program, on the project. Can you maybe describe the community right now that's building PyLabRobot?
Yeah, for sure. And by the way, I think it's going to be more commits because we make commits literally every single day. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the community, it's mostly people. We all work for different kind of companies where our jobs is to ship science in the end, just to do scientific experiments. And that is really the case for every individual contributor, where we need to do an experiment, and then the only way really to do that is to write your own software and kind of use PyLabRobot just for various reasons. And so it's really like sort of this community is trying to do things, and then they're building what they need to get that work done. And in particular, there is a person called Camilo who's one of the most productive contributors to the project. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Shout out to them. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So what kind of, are these folks who are also working in industry? Are they in academia? Is it kind of hobby projects for folks who are interested like you about how can we create the AWS of biology? What are their backgrounds?
Mostly I would say it's industry people. There are some different startups. There's also actually a very big pharma company that recently reached out about using it potentially, and also some academic labs. And I think for Camilo and me, it's also a hobby to kind of work on this in our own time.
And what do you think is for example, why would a large, pharma company have an incentive to embrace this? I mean, could you maybe share what you think is driving them from their perspective?
For sure. So I think for these companies, in the end of the day, they're not really interested in building automation software or building automation systems in the first place. I think it's sort of like a necessary thing for them to do this, and that's why they're interested in it. And then I think with PyLabRobot, since it's a very fast development, it's very nice tools, it kind of provides this universal interface to a bunch of these machines. It just allows people to do their work faster, essentially. And so you can also imagine for these companies, why don't they just hire their own people to write their own software internally? Like certainly some of the big pharma companies, they have so much money, like why don't they just build something themselves? And so you can kind of wonder about this. But I think for these companies, like since writing these automation interfaces, it's quite a lot of work because there's a lot of different configurations, there are a lot of different edge cases and a lot of different things that you can do. And so doing all of that yourself, it takes a long time, it's very resource intensive. Some problems only occur one time in 1,000, so you really have to do a lot of work to get it to be robust. And so there's a lot of value in collaborating with other people who are sort of thinking about the same kinds of problems and solving the same kinds of problems. And then collaborating with them. So you have really this community of people who are solving the problems and making them more robust and working together, which is certainly a lot better than having your own internal tool, which you're like the only person in the whole world that uses it. If the rest of the world is going to move on with something newer, you probably want to be part of that. You want to be on that train.
Is there another open source project that you take inspiration from that you think has had a similar impact in industry?
Definitely. For me, the project I really look up to is PyTorch. Essentially, that's also a little bit my ambitious goal for PyLabRobot is to become like the PyTorch of lab automation, to do for the lab automation community what PyTorch has done for the machine learning community. So just to maybe I guess kind of explain what is PyTorch. Sure. So PyTorch is this library that is used for writing neural networks and kind of interfacing with different kinds of GPUs and training neural networks. And everyone who is using machine learning nowadays, they're using PyTorch, whether it is like Facebook training these like huge large language models, or me as a teenager in my bedroom, I was using PyTorch for some very simple experiments. And also for end users, they are using PyTorch indirectly, maybe if they're not using it directly. When they talk to chat, maybe there's some PyTorch code that runs on a server somewhere. And I think there's like a reason for that, and that is that PyTorch sort of provides this universal interface to all different kinds of hardware. So it really makes things a lot simpler for developers. It's very fast. It's a very nice API. So really every developer wants to use PyTorch. And they started out sort of at Facebook, where people, they just wanted a tool to do something, to do their work more efficiently and better. And then they saw that it would be great if the rest of the industry were also using this, because then you get to collaborate and you get to benefit from the latest advancements. And so that's why they made it open source. And then other companies, they saw, it's getting traction, and it's very useful for us to just use this and adopt it and build onto it further. And so with PyLabRobot, that's kind of the trajectory where I hope we're able to do the same thing, is to sort of become like PyTorch.